What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today I'm talking basketball, Orlando Magic basketball. The Orlando Magic right now are tied with the Boston Celtics to top the Eastern Conference with a 5-2 record. They're second in the league in points, second in assists, second in field goal percentage. This Orlando Magic team is looking like it's for real. It's looking like the real deal. It started off, with the opening night against Miami. Then the shocker blowout game against Cleveland, which I covered in my last video. And people just thought that was a fluke. And then Aaron Gordon showed up against the Brooklyn Nets. And also against the Brooklyn Nets, you had Nukovic score 40 points. Back though, Gordon plays against the Nets 3 days later, and he gets 41 points against them. 5 for 5 from 3 with the game-winning 3 to end the game, to ice the game. And then they backdoor and blow out the Spurs by 20 points. They lose and fall to the Hornets though, but then come back again. And they're the only team in the NBA right now that every single game they play is 110 plus. They score over 110 points in every single game. Even the 2 losses, they still score over 110 points a game. Like, this offense they playing out of his minds, mostly because of Aaron Gordon and Nukovic. Fournier, because last night Fournier led the team in scoring with 25. So Fournier is still doing his thing, but Fournier is more a shooter than a pure scorer. Nukovic is more of a scorer. And Aaron Gordon, I think he's finally stepping into their role to be the number 1 player of the team. He looks completely different. He looks like a whole completely different player. The way he's shooting threes with confidence. Like when he's getting the three, he's not like getting the three, okay, do I need to shoot it or do I need to pass it? What I need to do? He's getting it. He looks back, this is my shot, back, and it's busting it. Especially when against Brooklyn, he was 5 for 5. Like, he's looking like the 4th overall pick that we drafted him to be when we drafted him in 2014. In the 2014 draft, he's looking like the 4th overall pick of that draft. That's what he's looking like. He should be taken 4th overall. He's looking like that guy right now. It took him some time, injuries, different coaches. I mean, this is what his 4th different coach in Frank Vogel. This is his 4th different coach because you had Jacques Vaughn, you had Scott Skiles, you had the interim head coach. And, so this is his 4th coach. So different coaching changes, roster changes because we changed general managers now. Different roster changes, and I think that we finally got the pieces in place. And I'm thinking that, I'm not delusional and not naive. I don't think they're going to be the number 1 seed when the season ends. I think they're still going to be Cleveland and Boston in that top 2 range. But I do think they can possibly, I do think they're going to the playoffs. Unless something just completely happens, I think they're going to be a playoff team. I do think they're going to be a playoff team. And my hopes for getting Trayvon Duval has diminished because I feel they're going to be a playoff team, which, in all honesty, I'd rather be a playoff team than get Trayvon Duval. I'm very high on Trayvon Duval, but I'd rather be in the playoffs. But I do think they could be between that 5th, 6th, and 4th range. I think they could be somewhere in there. I think they legit. They're ranked 7th in the NBA power rankings right now. I think this Magic team really is legit. I think this team is really a legitimate team. And like I said, I think that both Nukovic and Aaron Gordon are the flagship characters. Now, after the draft, I was upset because, again, like I said, I wanted Dennis Smith. I'm not backing off that. I wanted Dennis Smith coming into this draft. But looking at Jonathan Isaac, I think he has natural talent. I'm looking at it, and he's very naturally skilled. Like, he's very naturally skilled. He's not polished yet, but he's very naturally skilled. I see the natural skills in him, and I think that he's only going to get better. I don't know what he's going to turn up and be, but I see a guy that will get better and has natural skills. It could be a very, very key component to this team going forward. Off the bench, and Jonathan Simmons, especially when they play against the Spurs, he wanted to show up the Spurs because the Spurs just let him walk. I think he is a great bench player, and he holds down our bench. and he provides extra scoring off the bench. It's like our team doesn't when you take out the starters and the bench come in, our team doesn't miss a beat. The train is still growing, it's still flowing, it's still going. And I think part of the reason, and the majority of the reason is because of Jonathan Simmons. I think he's a great bench player, and don't be surprised if he ends up being, if not the winner, but a top 5 candidate for Sixth Man of the Year. I think he's going to be in that conversation and could potentially even be the Sixth Man of the Year. I think he's definitely going to be in that conversation to be Sixth Man of the Year, and he might even end up being Sixth Man of the Year because he is really taking that good role off the bench and leading that second wave after your starters are on off the floor. There's talks of us potentially trying to acquire Eric Gordon from the Suns. Because he's unhappy with Phoenix, and like I said, I like Alfred Payton a lot, but he doesn't. I think he's a good solid player, but I think we need a superstar or a potential superstar in that role. And I don't even think that Gordon's a superstar. I think he's a good solid player. I think he's another level. Oh, he's definitely another level over Alfred Payton, but he's not your Chris Pauls, your Damian Lillards, your Kyrie's, your John Walls. He's not that level. He's not superstar. He's not star or superstar level. I think he is above a solid player, but he's not superstar level. Some people try to throw him into that conversation, but he's not. He's not superstar level. But will he be a very key piece here? Depending on what you give up. If you don't have to give up too much to get him, if it's just Mario and maybe I don't know because they're talking about moving more. If it's Mario and some other stuff, but then I don't want to sacrifice the bench because I've been feeling this way for a while that the roster, if you threw a superstar or two in this team is poised to make a deep run in the East because I think the rest of the team is solid as a team. They just don't have a guy like a LeBron to carry it week in and game in and game out. They don't have a superstar caliber guy. And the way Aaron Gordon playing, Gordon's AG is he's looking. Like I said, he looks like a completely different player, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. This team plays well. That's another reason why I don't want to break up the chemistry because this team is playing well together. I like the way they play. They look like they like each other. They like playing for Vogel. They like to play the game that they're playing. They look like everybody looks happy, and they're all in a joint effort to make this Magic team relevant again. And that's really what a lot of us Magic fans want. We want this team to be relevant again. And it has the makings of looking like being a very good season. We're going to see what happened when they played the Grizzlies. They played Grizzlies tonight. We're going to see what happened after that. I said I'm going to do another video breaking down some more games. But come on, Magic. Keep this train rolling because right now you're tied for the top spot in the East. And just keep this going because you could definitely be I'm not saying you're going to be 1 and 2 at the end of the year, but you could definitely be 4-5. Like the way y'all playing now, y'all can definitely be a 4 or 5 seed, maybe even a 3. Like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't clicked that bell to get more videos. I holla.